Hey, what's up you guys? You're watching Team APS. In today's video, I'm going to share what I think are 5 really good tech cards for the new format. If you've been living under a rock, we have a new ban list. We have a new format that's happening right now. Whoa! So, what does that mean? That means that the top decks change, the top strategies change, and here are some of the cards I feel are really strong picks as either side deck picks, tech cards, things you might want to look into. I've got 5, technically more, but you'll see about that. So yeah, let's hop in with the first card, which is King Rio. One of my personal favorites, kind of a classic stun card, almost the definition of it. This guy is at 3 now, and I think it's super relevant for so many reasons. You can summon this card against so many decks and just shut them down. It's Mistake, the continuous trap that just stops people from adding cards from their deck to their hand. It used to be, oh, you can't use Rhoda, you can't use, Power Duality. Nowadays though, with decks searching, everywhere, it's like, this is kind of walking Ash Blossom, but permanent. So, imagine summoning this, like if you go first and summon this against Trickstars, what are they gonna do? Like they don't get to use Candina, they don't get to use Light Stage. That's really huge. Plus, he's got like a 1900 body, so he's able to like swing over said cards. Same thing goes for Pendulum Magicians, a deck that, might still be good right now. It's got like Duelist Alliance and it's got, all of these crazy cards. You can just summon Thunder King and what are they gonna do? They can't go using like Pendulum Call and like Wavering Eyes and all that stuff. So there's another really good one. ABCs, if you summon this against them, there's no more, like Union Hangar and like searching all these things and getting like ABC Dragon Buster out. It's actually hard because Thunder King can negate ABC Dragon Buster's summon in addition to negating like the terraformings and all those cards. It's kind of insane. And in addition to that, with Link monsters around, Thunder King really puts a damper on that. If you use Thunder King Rio and negate the summon of say like Decode Talker, your opponent put a lot of resources into that. That really hurts, So, and he's 1900 attack, so like those small Link monsters can't really like bait him out. They have low attack. He can swing over them. It's really crazy, but I think that this card will be almost a standard tech in any kind of slower control-based deck and a standard side deck card for pretty much everything. The next card is Rune Age. Now, this is pretty obvious, right? A lot of people have been saying that this card will be relevant and strong, and it's, there's lots of traps now. You need to have a way to deal with them. What makes Rune Age so good is that it just bounces all of the set cards in the field back to the hand. And if they're gonna be setting like Bottomless Trap Hole and Torrential Tribute and just all these things, it's all gone, right? Plus, if they have Solemn Judgment, then this will largely force cards like that out. If they don't negate your Rune Age, then they risk being OTK'd outright in a turn. And Rune Age is also at 3, so previously, things like Heavy Storm or Giant Rune Age were like limited, so you'd only see 1. But at 3 copies, this actually puts a really big check on the back row. And in addition to that, I actually think I should just go ahead and mention that Twin Twisters and Heavy Storm Duster are also both really good now, because if you can like use Heavy Storm Duster on your opponent's in phase and like boom, hit like a Bottomless and a Torrential or a Bottomless and a Solemn or whatever at a plus, that's really strong. If people are gonna be using more back row, then you need to have the appropriate answers. Twin Twisters is a very similar card. You can also even use it in your turn and not lose your battle phase, which is great. The only, I guess, relevant thing here though is that artifacts do exist and that needs to be accounted for. So Twin Twisters and Heavy Storm Duster might need to be a little more careful about hitting artifact cards, but Rune Age does not have such a concern. So any of these cards will be better, and I think that they're gonna be really crucial techs. Next, we've got Dinko CEQA, a card that also sort of fills that void. Dinko CEQA, you can just summon it and your opponent's traps are just shut down. They don't get to use any of their set stuff, and that's really all it is, right? They can't even use Bottomless Trap Hole on Dinko CEQA, in fact. They can't use Torrential when she's summoned. The only thing they can do is negate her summon. So if they don't have Solemn Warning or like Solemn Judgment, one of those 2 things, then there's no way to stop it. She just sits there and like, boom, all your back row is stunned. And so for decks like Paleozoics, which are probably gonna be a lot more dominant now, you really will want to have copies of this card. Whether it's in your main deck or your side deck is entirely up to you, but I definitely think that these are cards that people need to have. And if you don't want to play Dinko CEQA, a really good alternative is actually Royal Decree. because it does largely the same thing. In fact, it just stops all traps outright, and that's great. Now, I guess what's important about Decree is that it can still get hit by like Cosmic Cyclone and Twin Twisters and, you know, maybe Storm Dust. Well, no, they can't use, well, they could. Anyway, the point is, it's a little bit more like susceptible to removal, but either of these cards will help you. So I think that they should both be at least considered between the main and the side deck. Next up is My Body as a Shield. I think that, again, with Bottomless Trap Hole and Torrential Tribute running around the way they are, it's actually going to be really good to have a copy of a card like this, or maybe multiple copies. We saw this card last majorly in the Zodiac format because they needed to be able to protect Dryden from either Masterpiece or just from, you know, all the mass removal at the time, like Dark Hole and Raigeki were super prevalent. They still will be, so this can obviously stop those cards, but this helps more because if you're gonna have to deal with like 3 Bottomless Trap Holes and like 3 Torrential Tributes in a format, it really is nice to be able to protect your monsters, especially because this can outright protect you from a full Torrential wipe or a full Bottomless wipe, like on a Pendulum Summon, for example. So having this is really handy. And in fact, a second card that's pretty related that I figured I should mention is Forbidden Lance, which does a pretty similar job. If your opponent is going to try to destroy your monster with Bottomless or Torrential, you can use Forbidden Lance to protect it. And you would think, well, My Body's probably better, but maybe you don't want to pay the life point cost. Or there's also the benefit that Forbidden Lance has that it's a little bit easier to use in chains. You don't have to chain it directly to something that would destroy cards. And also it can save you from things like Mind Control, for example, which I do think we'll probably be seeing more play. So, you know, between My Body and Forbidden Lance, maybe those are going to be also strong techs to consider, especially if you're playing a deck that needs to protect a boss monster or just is kind of more control centric. And last but not least is a card that I'm really excited to actually see like kind of where this goes is Inspector Border. This is new. It came out in Extreme Force. We actually pulled a couple of copies from our boxes. Watch that box opening video, by the way, if you haven't. It's quite entertaining. Yeah, so Inspector Border is a really unique card. You have to have no monsters when you summon it, and when you do, neither player gets to use more monster effects in a turn than there are, how to say it, specific monsters on the field. This will make a lot more sense when you read the text, so I'll have the card image up here, but basically if there aren't Link monsters, Synchro monsters, Pendulums, Fusions, Xyz, or Ritual monsters in the field, then your opponent doesn't get to use card effects. If there's only one, or monster effects. If there's only one, then your opponent only gets to use one monster effect, and so on. So what makes this so strong is that A, he's got 2,000 attack points, and B, if you're playing an already kind of stunish deck, then just summoning this card and just setting a lot of back row, how's your opponent ever gonna be able to use monster effects? I mean, if you summon this against Trickstars, they can't use Candina. If you summon this against, you know, almost any deck, they can't like even use their Stratos type cards or hand traps even, which is super crazy. And like I said, you know, backed up by just Solemns, traps, things like that, Forbidden Lance and My Body. Like I just mentioned, you know, this thing is gonna be really tough to get off the field. He's chunky, he is like oppressive. I don't know, I think this will be really good. It might not be a main deck card unless you're running a stun deck, but it really, I think, will be in a lot of side decks moving forward. And so if you haven't already, maybe try to pick him up. So yes, that concludes the video. Those are 5 pretty strong tech cards / side deck cards that I feel will be really prevalent in this format, really helpful, worth looking into, or at least considering ways that your deck can work around them. We will see. The best part about Yu-Gi-Oh though is that there are loads of cards like this. So I'm sure I left out plenty. You know, artifacts and mind control and all this stuff are gonna be good now. What cards do you feel are going to be worth looking out for? Good tech ideas, good side deck ideas? Leave it all in the comments below. I'll be reading, maybe responding. And yeah, that's it for the video. As a quick reminder, we're gonna be at YCS Atlanta here in another week or so. So if you're gonna be there, be sure to meet us and, you know, take a picture or whatever, shake hands. Yeah, so thumbs if you like the video, sub if you love the video, subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'll see you guys in the next one.